Breaking news for you about Donald Trump being found liable for sexually abusing and defaming E Jean Carroll. Yeah, that's right. And the jury awarded damages totaling $5 million. This headline here really does seem to say it all. And the thing is that the Manhattan jury, which is composed of 6 men and 3 women, did not find that Trump raped Carroll, but did sexually abuse her. And that basically means that the jury didn't find that there was any intercourse there, but that there was some kind of sexual contact, which would somewhat make sense because E Jean Carroll testified that she could not feel penetration from Trump's member, but she could feel his fingers inside her. Well, also, she happened to find that the former president had defamed E Jean Carroll, saying that she lied about saying that he assaulted her, and also did so maliciously, which is why the jury included punitive damages in the award. And although Trump didn't even show up to testify, well, again, he was found liable in this civil suit where the standard is lower than beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the criminal standard. This one here, it's more likely than not that E Jean Carroll was telling the truth. It is a big day and a big win, as we know that defamation cases are hard to prove, rape cases are hard to prove, he said, she said cases are hard to prove, and yet E Jean Carroll did it and won it, not even without the fact that this also included a former US president and the rape occurred more than 30 years ago. So it's a very, very big day, especially for people who spoke out against their abusers or other rapists. And so David, I'm wondering, how does this verdict sit with you?
Well, I think $5 million is a big deal. I mean, as you were reminding me before the show, I mean, E Jean Carroll did not set an amount, but for the jury to come back with that amount shows that not only did they believe that Donald Trump had in fact abused her, but that they were sickened by it because they could have settled for a lot less. The one thing that bothers me a little bit is that I do wish the jury had found that Donald Trump had quote unquote raped her, because now Donald Trump politically gets to say, I settle lawsuits all the time for even more than $5 million, and I was found not guilty of raping anybody. So he has his talking point, but this is still a big deal to anybody with any common sense. And I don't think Donald Trump's deposition, which was played at the end, did him any favors. He kept saying, oh, well, she's not my type. I would have never been with somebody like that because of, and then he impugned her looks. To me, that was disgusting on so many levels. And I think it also inflamed the jury and perhaps pushed them towards this verdict.
Yes, absolutely, and it didn't help him that he confused E Jean Carroll for his ex-wife, Marla Maples, especially as he had said, it's not my type, but then he's out here saying, oh, this is my wife in this photo, which it wasn't. And also to make sure that I'm clear, E Jean Carroll said she wasn't sure whether he had penetrated her with his member, but she did know he penetrated her with his fingers, which is why there is that sexual abuse liability being found here. And it'll be interesting moving forward because as we know, there have been so many women in the double digits who have come out against Donald Trump doing something to them in the form of sexual abuse. And yet it seemed like so many members of the GOP just kind of ignored it, pushed it under the rug and kept it moving. But now that we actually have this finding of liability on the books, I'm wondering, David, do you think that this is going to impact Trump's presidential run?
That's a great question, and I think we're going to find out pretty quickly with the town hall he's doing. Does he still have his sort of curveball and his various pitches that he uses to sort of show his charisma and get people to look away from his garbage? We'll find that out. I mean, I think Donald Trump is going to be tested by this news. He's going to be tested by some other things. But my gut, Adrienne, unfortunately, is I think people sort of have baked all of this into the cake. I think most people sort of know that Donald Trump is demeaning to women, that he has assaulted women, that maybe he has done even worse. He certainly has ridiculed women, and yet it seems like among his supporters, they don't care. They just want somebody who's gonna drain the swamp, get rid of the deep state, do all this sort of malarkey that Donald Trump keeps talking about. And because Donald Trump has the charisma and the ability to turn the focus away from his troubles and towards what he says he wants to do, I just feel like it's not gonna peel away his core support. And in the Republican Party to win the nomination, he only needs about 30% of the primary voters, and then the field will divide the rest. And that'll be the same way Donald Trump won the nomination back in 2016. So I feel like this is just gonna be something of a blip for Donald Trump, even though for the rest of us, I certainly wouldn't want something like this on my record. I don't think I would want any family member, friend, or politician that I supported to have been found guilty, to have been found liable of sexual abuse like this.
Absolutely. You would think that most rational people would say this person shouldn't necessarily be leading our country. But then again, I don't necessarily know that he has that many rational followers out there. But I definitely know that we will all be waiting to see how another Manhattan jury responds to Trump in the upcoming months as he faces those fraud-related indictment charges that have been filed by Alvin Bragg.